Cole was saying there were times tonight where he felt about as locked in as he has in his time here. How did he look to you?
He was really special again. He got better as it went. He started out pretty good. The 2-run inning, tip your cap to them. He was a little fat and cut more of the plate than he typically does, and they made him pay after a walk, and the kid beat our right fielder. But after that, it was pretty much his show, I guess. And he and Nogo's a pretty good combination.
When he's in those kind of zones, what do you see out of him, both in the dugout and on the mound?
You know, he's a very focused and mature young man, and you know, he looks a lot to me like he did his freshman year. He's got all the distractions of the stuff that was going on. He's coming back from arm injury and the potential draft and all those things that were on his shoulders last year. And this year, he's taken the leadership role right from the very start, like he did as a freshman. He's been equal as hard a working kid as we've had in the pitching staff, and he's just really focused down there, and that translates to when the game's on the line and when he goes into the game. He looks a lot like he did his freshman year. You know, not to put any of that kind of pressure on him to repeat that, but he's repeating pitches very. He's just like he was when he was a freshman for sure.
Does that impact you as a guy calling pitches? Do you feel like you can do different things? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 tools to work with, and what is different is both his breaking balls are sharper than when he was a freshman, and his change has got more depth to it, and you know, he's still got that same velocity to build. And when, you know, sometimes you get guys that can only throw fastballs when they're behind, but he makes it doubly tough because he can throw any of his pitches when he's behind. So he's a tough bugger to break down, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Is a start like that almost becoming the norm in a way for a guy as talented as him, or is that still kind of exemplary of what he can do?
No, I think as soon as you let your guard down and you expect it, you open yourself up for the game of baseball to bite you on the rear end, you know. And, you know, it's our job. We've gotten off to a pretty good start. It's our job and the pitching coach Carricker's job to keep him finely tuned. You know, we've got a long way to go. You know, he's got many starts, and hopefully he'll pitch deep into June and stay just as focused and just as hungry. And you know, any good baseball player will tell you it can go away in a hurry. You know, you can get into pitching slumps or hitting slumps or fielding slumps. And our obligation is to try to get better. If there is such a thing with him, he's going pretty good right now.
Bottom of the order got you going. You put up the 3. You hopeful that that's a group that can continue that level of production?
Yeah, you know, we still struck out 10 times tonight, and you know, that left-hander that they pitched was crafty, and we had tough conditions to hit, wet, cold, and all that kind of stuff, which adds to the thing. You don't necessarily, you know, some balls were crushed today from both sides that the outfielders made good plays on, and we need the small cue where we can put the ball in play, quit chasing stuff in the dirt. They've done a good job of stretching the zone when they get around it. If we put the ball in play a little bit more, even though Illinois State's used to playing in conditions like this, it's hard to play catch, you know, with a wet baseball. So a little bit tougher outs, I suspect. And you know, we did sting some balls and just a little bit right at them. The 2 line drives in the infield were just crushed as well.
You mentioned the strikeouts. Cisnara had a bit of a rough night. What are you seeing from him right now?
He looks like he's a little bit too much pool orientated. Timmy had a great fall and a great January, and for some reason he hasn't got off to a good start. And you know, I can see that it's bothering him a little bit, like any human being, and he's got to get back on his own side. He's starting to show up a little bit on the defensive side where he's not quite as mentally acute. This, as I said, this game will kill you if you try to be perfect in this game. And you just got to keep working at it. He'll break out of it. And there was some thought he was going so good that he would hit 4th course, you know. And so I'm a big Tim Cisnera fan, and I think he's just maybe one blue pit away from getting back and having some confidence.
Gray back at the top of the lineup had a big hit for you guys early on. How important is that to have him be a producer?
Yeah, you know, other than Graves, we don't have a real true leadoff hitter, you know, and he hasn't had a spectacular career here yet, but he's a great baseball player, and he's been functioning very well as that leadoff hitter, getting on base, and obviously he was a big contributor tonight with his clutch hitting, and that's kind of been his history. Last year, down the stretch in that last 6 weeks when we made a move, he was one of our hottest guys. And he's all about winning. I coached his uncle, and his dad played in the big leagues and came from a great high school program. And you know, some guys that hit 270 can win for you, and some guys that hit 270 do that when nobody's on base. And he's one of those guys that seems to have his best at bats when it means the most.
Brendan no-go for the long save. You worried about his arm tiring out, or do you just want to keep him fresh?
No, he wanted the ball last night. He was, I wouldn't say ticked off. That's too strong. He was disappointed we didn't give him the ball last night. And the reason we didn't give him the ball last night is because we knew we had a good pitching matchup tonight, and so the plan was we'll extend him tonight, and we'll figure out who's going to go tomorrow. He'll want the ball again tomorrow. He's just that kind of a guy. And it's early in the season, and in 4-game series, going into it, you don't necessarily want him to save 3 of the 4 or all 4 games because it's early in the season. But he's a heart, his desire to want the ball, you want that. But his understanding that Cooper was throwing fine and saving him for tonight, it kind of worked out. So, truth be said, he could have had 2 saves, had we done it a little differently.
You guys are rolling pretty good. Are you loath to switch things up much, or do you want to start working some different guys in the lineup?
Well, yeah, that's part of you want to win, and you want to get some other guys some opportunity, and it's pretty much been the same lineup, and we'll put our heads together and see if we need to make any moves. We're going to see a right-hander tomorrow, so I doubt whether we'll have a different catcher tomorrow. Hagen's going to catch Crook tomorrow, so that's one change for sure. I don't think we'll change any of the other parts of the lineup.
What do you need to see differently out of Crook from starting to win?
Well, fastball command. He's been working awfully hard. His start before the San Diego start was one of his best ever. He had all 4 pitches working, and then for some reason he didn't have good command of his fastball. I don't know. I have no explanation for it. The good news is he had a cutter that he was throwing in there, and he battled his rear end off and gave us a chance to win. We hope to see the Crook that we saw here start before we started the season, and if he's like that, it'll be very difficult for them to do anything against him.
Caraviotis any better? Could he have played?
I think he's getting better each day. It's just a little tightness, and nothing serious, we don't think, and that'll be tough because Kroon's kind of given us a little bit of a spark there and misplayed that one ground ball, unfortunately. But Mark's one of our best players, so we'll hope to get him healthy and back in there.